Gospel Diaries,
So get in front of me.
Episode 22.
All right, so we're at Clarksville Missionary Baptist Church. It was once pastored by Pastor Pharis Evans Sr. Let's walk around the church so they can see it. This is it. Look at the buses over.
Pharis Evans Jr.
Oh, you was just getting there. Come on. You gotta open it one more time. Yeah. He will take care of. Definitely. All right, we're at Gospel Diaries again, and I am so excited to be in the wonderful city of Gary, Indiana, at a historic church with a very, very wonderful guest, Pastor Pharis Evans Jr.
Appreciate
How are you?
I'm well, man.
Man, it's so honored. It's so much. It's such a blessing to be here. I want to start here. Affectionately, you're known as Pastor June.
Now I am, yeah. for the last 4 years.
Okay, tell us, how did you get that pseudonym?
Well, being a junior, Pharis Evans Jr. You know, June is the nickname for June, Junior. You know, and growing up here, you know, I had most people at church, they knew me as June. They called me June, and so as I got older, I still remained June, and then as I became a minister, I was Reverend June. Then when I started pastoring, I mean, the Reverend turned into pastor, so they called me Pastor June.
Wow. Well, look, we definitely want to get into your wonderful career in gospel music, but before we go there, I think it's a perfect segue because you have been able to witness gospel music, well, the black liturgy, you know, from a very privileged angle, having your father being an icon as well as your uncle. So kind of tell us about your childhood being in the Evans home.
Man, that's kind of you to say. First of all, let me say, man, I am privileged to be in such a family, a lineage that is a legacy. My uncles, my Uncle Clay, my Uncle Joe, my Uncle Estes, my dad, my Uncle John, my Aunt Ludella, Aunt Minnie Joe, Aunt Grace, all of them, man, they were iconic in their own way, in their own manner, and I cannot take any credit for contributing to that aspect of our legacy, but what I'm trying to do now is add to it, uphold it, and carry it on. And you know, before Unc passed away, 2 weeks before he passed away, he said to me, and I have the voice message as well as a conversation. He says, "We're dependent on you. You know, I'm counting on you." And he prayed for me in that conversation. He prayed to the degree that he went to sleep. Wow. My aunt and my dad, they all kind of gave me the same message. The sentiments were the same. You know, you gotta carry things on. And I remember very vividly in my front yard, my Uncle Clay saying to me, "Man, you got to carry this thing on." And it frightened me because I'm no Clay Evans. I'm no Pharis D. Evans. I'm no Ludella Evans Reed. I'm just me. However, they knew that God chose me with a purpose to do whatever it is He's gifted me to do and whatever it is He's assigned me to do. So I'm trying to add to our name, carry it on, carry the legacy on in the most positive, righteous way that I can. Not self-righteous, but righteous way that I can.
Wow. Well, I think that you're definitely doing a fantastic job because I would like to share this openly. You know, my mind goes back to my childhood, been at my cousin's house, scanning through all of her CDs, and I found your CD entitled "Ready, Willing,
and Able. No, yeah, Ready, Willing, and Able.
Yeah, and you know, so matter of fact, you actually featured Durandus on that
I
particular
did, man.
album. But we're gonna talk about that. But
Durandus Pace.
yeah. But you know that CD means a lot. It was When Jesus Come. I just love the sermonic opening, and then you come in with the rhythmic approach. That was some good stuff.
Man, you remember more than I do.
Oh yeah. Okay, so let's talk about your siblings. So how many brothers and sisters?
I have 4 siblings. I had 4. There's 5 children in all. My oldest brother, he passed away in September of 09. His name was Lester Bernard Evans. And he actually was probably the greatest hands-on influence in my life musically. He taught me not just how to play drums, but he taught me music, man. My brother under him, Errol Wayne Evans, he gave me many opportunities. Well, both of them did. And then I have 2 sisters, Rochelle and Lisa. But I have a niece who's like my little sister, and her name is Nicole. But there are 5 of us. Include Nick in there, there's 6 of us.
Wow. And so you all was active musically here at the church, right? Or
not everybody was active musically.
Okay.
My brothers and I were more active musically. My sisters did sing in the choir, though.
Wow. So tell us about the era which you lived in as a child in Gary, Indiana. Like, what are some of the churches that you all fellowship with out here?
Man, that's an interesting question. First of all, although I was born a few years shy of the 70s, or earlier, shall I say, I'm a 70s child, man, and I'm 70s music, I'm 70s in many ways. And when I was growing up here at Clark Road, just like my Uncle Clay, there were no boundaries. Although this is a Baptist church, I didn't know what denomination was. Like Uncle Clay, he fellowshipped and he connected with all denominations. You know what I'm saying? You know, they broke that barrier, man. And to this day, I'm not a denominational person. I would say I don't like denominations, but that would seem pretty terse. But it's, you know, I just believe ministry and church, it should not be any type of separations and interpretations of, you know, what's sanctified, what's not sanctified. I go to a sanctified church. So when you look at sanctified, that's set apart. It's not a matter of how you shout. It's not a matter of how fast the beat to your song is. I kind of dispel. I don't like any of that type of carrying on. But growing up around here, our church fellowshiped with many churches. Me personally, as a musician, I was playing drums, and I played drums. You know, different places. I connected with different aspects of musicians from different or a variety of denominations. You know, the Blakeleys, the Hearn. We all of us. I mean, my parents, my dad, my mom, who was very influential in my life. She was. We just connected with all walks of church. Man.
I love it. And you mentioned some good names too. The Hearns family, my God. And David Blakely and his family, my God. Oh, that's some stuff. But right before we leave this segment, I want to pay homage to your dad.
To my dad.
Yeah.
My best friend.
Yes, absolutely.
My best friend in life, afterlife, forever. Man.
Oh yeah.
My dad was he was my dad. He was my best friend. He was my pastor. He was my mentor. All of it.
And for you all that's watching, just a tad bit, of history. So his dad actually came to Chicago in 1950, a little bit after Reverend Clay Evans.
I don't remember the story of the year, but
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So, and what happened was actually his dad was over the choir when they originally started Fellowship Baptist Church.
Well, correction.
Well,
No, he directed.
director.
Uncle Della was always over.
Always
the choir,
over.
yeah.
Thank you so much. So what I'm taking is that Reverend actually took his style of music to Clark Road, and I think that it's so great that they had a chance to record, because you really get to hear the genius of your dad, man. You really do.
I don't want you to, this is rhetorical, but how old are you, man? I mean, you are a historian. How old are you, man?
I'm 38.
It was rhetorical, but man, saying, yeah, it's so many.
What's one of your favorite sayings by your dad? I know you have many of them.
Many sayings. He would he mentored, and he would say many things to me, and he'll say, all is well. All is well. And it wasn't necessarily so that all was well, but that was the positivity and optimistic faith he had. And when I would hear him say all is well, I felt that things would be all right. Yeah.
And on that note, we're going to end this segment with all is well. I don't care what you may be facing.
All is well.
All is well.
Thank you for all that you've done thus far. Thank you for being the God that you are. Thank you for food on my table. Said I know you're able. Wanna say thank you. That good?
No, yeah.
Thank you for all that you've done thus far. I thank you for being the God that you are. Oh, thank you for food on my table. I know that you're able. Lord, I want to say thank you.
All right, we're back, and I'm still excited. But now I kind of want to venture into your music identity, your own personal music identity. You've written many classic songs, many groups and your groups have recorded them, but I want to kind of figure out when did you kind of start your own musical journey personally?
As a writer or
as a writer, let's start with writer. Yeah, let's do writer.
Well, as a writer, I don't know when. I definitely was still in high school, and I would make up songs, and they kind of go hand in hand. The writing, the alleged producing. You know, I remember taking drums home, and I would play beats on the drums and record it on a cassette recorder, and then put that cassette tape into the stereo, play the drums back, and tinker away on the out-of-tune piano and just keep building the track. But I didn't know that was called producing. I was just doing music, and then I would make up words to go with it. You know, I didn't know Bible really, you know, at that age, you know, but I would just make up songs, man. But when, I don't know, I probably, man, it was young. Maybe 8th grade. You know, when I really started venturing into more than just drums.
Now, outside of Clark Road Missionary Baptist Church, were you using your gifts at any other church or any other groups within the city?
At that time, my brother Wayne would have workshops, and you know that would open up an opportunity for aspiring writers around this area to present their songs and that sort of thing. But other than that, no, I wasn't. I mean, nobody knew me to call me and to do material or anything like that. That didn't happen until after I got with the Williams brothers.
Perfect segue into Blackberry Records. How did you get introduced to the Williams brothers and their label?
Well, the Williams brothers came first. I got with them right out of high school, and I was with them for some years. But Blackberry came actually on my latter years, in my latter years. But I got with the Williams brothers, and the first project that I did with them was the Sweep Around project.
Oh my Lord! So you produced that?
No, I didn't produce it, but I'm all in there. Trust me. And let me not say it like that, because that could come off a certain way. I don't mean to. Okay, I didn't produce it, but let's just say I have ideas that are in there.
Man,
and even in the song, here's something that I used to be ashamed of. I'm in this video, Sweep Around, saying, when you are doing wrong.
Oh, that's you?
I wouldn't let it be said. I waited too late.
Yeah, man. So,
hey, y'all, that's him in the video.
okay, well, tell them then, as if I hadn't. Yeah, but the Williams brothers was great. Actually, when Blackberry first formed, I was. It will take too much time to tell the story, but I was fired by the Williams brothers when Blackberry launched. But they got me right back. And so Blackberry has been good to me. The Williams brothers have been good to me. They've given me many opportunities to produce on their project, and I didn't really understand the art of quartet at that time. I do now, and I'm releasing a quartet project, by the way. But Blackberry, man, it opened up some doors, and from Blackberry that led me to doing in working in Blackberry, I had the chance to work with greats like, Marvin Winans, Shirley Caesar, Joe Ligon, John P. Key, Stevie Wonder. Yeah, and he and I became really, really cool for the short time that we were in touch. But the Williams brothers and Blackberry were very kind. I began then working on Meek Records,
With
Maple Reddick Virtual, and I produced two projects. One project I worked on Art Project constantly.
Sneed has a song on there. What is
it?
Actually, it is. No, Constantly is.
It's one of those records, but I did Constantly, and that's
All Is Well.
You're right.
Yeah.
And I produced another project for my Uncle Clay, actually two. So I did one, but one of his projects was on Malaco, and it wasn't really pushed because they knew he was about to leave and do his own label. But nevertheless, I had 3 or 4 opportunities to work closely with my uncle. So one thing went from another to another, led to another, man.
Wow. And let's talk about the album on Blackberry, man. When Jesus Comes, how did you get your material ready for that project?
That was my first project.
Okay.
And the name of it is Ready, Willing, and Able. I was willing and able, but I wasn't as ready as I thought. And I made a critical mistake on that project because it's under Pharis Jr. and Loved Ones. I left the Evans out because I was trying to, not ride that name, which is very foolish. And I want to say to anybody, when you're a part of a legacy, a lineage that have really paved the way for you to be successful, don't exclude the name. Just make sure you don't bring harm and damage the name. But that project, going to the positive aspect of your question, it was my first time out. Blackberry gave me an opportunity, and I got whatever studio time I could get, make it happen.
Was all the studio work done here? Or
it was at Terminal Studios in Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay.
Actually, the studio is located in Ridgeland, Mississippi. Shout out to Randy Everett, who was my engineer. But I had to learn how to engineer. I had to learn everything because Man, I just had to figure it out.
Yeah.
But I knew that God had given me songs, and then my little brother, who is he's more than my best friend, but Multi Jewel the fourth,
Yes.
Tough, he's right there with me, and he's with me to this day, and I'm with him, man.
Wow. Shout out to Monty Jewel. By the way, he actually directed a few songs on Clark Rhodes' albums back in, I think it was
Now
1980.
that's his dad.
Oh, that's his dad. Oh,
Multi
thank you.
Jewel the
Okay.
third,
Okay.
but I'm speaking of Multi Jewel the fourth, and
Okay.
we affectionately call him Tough.
Tough. Shout out to Tough.
Yeah.
Man, so let's talk about some of the songs on that album.
I'm trying to remember him.
Better Day Coming.
Yeah, that's when Melvin Williams.
But you
and
all did
I'm
like
trying to remember.
you all did a track. You did like a Vogue track, a dance track.
Man.
You all.
But you know what? And I don't mean this braggadociously. I have not only been paying attention to gospel music. I mean, I love all sorts of music, from Earth, Wind, and Fire to, of course, Hawkins and Crouch. But my point that I'm making is I started doing remixes, and I really didn't know anybody at that time in gospel that was really doing remixes and having different versions of songs at that time. So yeah, I did various tracks.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
That's pretty awesome.
And we still, the last time we did remixes was for our youth ministry that we had at the time called Young Saints.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that in the next segment, because I need to get into that, because I want to understand how do we go from Saints for the Vision to Young Saints. And I know that you all recorded. I heard some of the material, but just didn't get a chance to get the project. But we're going to talk about that. Last but not least, When Jesus Come. Tell us
When
a little
Jesus
bit about
Come
that.
is a Sarah Paul Jordan
Absolutely.
remake. And I've always liked the song. And there you have it. I wanted to do it, and I wanted to do it justice,
Okay.
man. The song has always had a place in my heart. And in recording, I definitely wanted to do something of a hymn or a classic. You gave me a shot a minute ago, and you spoke very positive about I've written classics. No, that's a classic.
Yes.
No, God has blessed me to ink some songs, but that's songs like that will be here forever.
Oh, yeah. And talk a little bit about Durandis Pace, because she worked with
It's
you. on
wonderful,
that.
man. I met her through BlackBerry,
Okay.
working with Murphy Pace, her brother, God rest his soul, and their choir. And we did it. The first time I met Durandis was a Christmas project on BlackBerry. And BlackBerry had all of their artists to do a song and this and that. And I met her there, and she and I just became, she was so easy to love, man. And I wanted her to be on my project, and she was just a sweetheart. She along with someone else who I couldn't afford them at that time, and I'd rather not say right now.
Yeah.
But in calling Durandis, it was like, whoa, well, thank you very much. And she did it, man. She was just a jewel to work with. Man.
Wow. Well, there you have it, man. I'm totally having a ball. So we will be right back, and of course we will have some musical, have a musical performance by the pastor, and we're going to talk about Saints for the Vision and its upcoming recording. We'll be right back. Gospel Diaries.
There is no need for you to worry, for there is a God who knows your story. He will see you through all your nightmares. I know that God will take care of you. If you are sick and you can't bear the pain, or you feel your life is full of rain, God will take care of God, He will take care of you in every way, in all you do. He will take care of you. Oh, I know that God will take care of you. Then the part you were saying, will be taken care of.
Yes.
He will take care of you.
Oh, what? You was just getting there. Come on. You gotta open it one more time. Yeah. He will take care of. He will take care of. Gospel Diaries, we're back, and now it's time to talk about Saints for the Vision. My God. Man, wait, what, was it 97? No,
98.
wait, 98. Jesus Christ, he had a song on there. I want to say thank you. Listen, I lived in Chicago when that song came out, and every hour they were playing that song, whether it was 102.3, whether it was Gospel Radio 1390 or 92.3.
Yeah,
They were blowing up that song. Let's talk about Saints for the Vision. How did that vision come about?
Saints for the Vision was actually my second music ministry.
Okay.
My first music ministry was Evans, and that was an ensemble, and we were kind of in the Kurt Carr, Hawkins type vibe. But God allowed one of my desires to come true with a choir. My brother Wayne had always done workshops and had citywide, workshops with mass choirs. And in '98, God blessed me to do my first workshops. And at that time, it was Saints with a Vision Music and Art Seminar. Later on, I changed it to Music and Ministry Seminar. But they were birthed in 1998. We came together and recorded on the heels of a workshop. So I want to say thank you. It was recorded right here.
Wow.
On a Saturday. We had a workshop Monday through Friday, and that Saturday with a choir, with people who didn't know each other, and God blessed us to do songs like I Want to Say Thank You, Oh How He Loves Me, or What a Sacrifice, and Jesus Will Never Let Go, and everything. And God really blessed that record. I mean, he let us sit on his lap.
Yeah. Because, and gospel music still is a talent as well, but a lot of people don't really pay attention that it's really the anointing or it's the ministry aspect that really gave gospel music its niche. And a lot of people just stray away from that aspect of it and they solely go on talent. But when you listen to Saints for the Vision, man, I'm telling you, like, you can listen to every song and there's a ministry in it. You
feel something.
Yeah, you feel something. Especially you rocked it with Steve Jones. Lord Live Within Me.
Man,
Like, how? Tell me how did that sound?
Wow. Oh Lord, live within mine. So it's just another something that God gave me, and I can't recall what.
Did you give him the song, or was he just here and he just?
Oh no!
Okay.
Everything you hear is designed.
Right.
I mean, and that song to be like that and to have strings in it, it's like, why not have strings, in the verse?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think Steve Jones, I mean, he was the perfect fit for that song. And the rest is history, man.
I actually want to go down the list. So God will take care of you. So the part that really gets me is you will be taking good care. What is it?
Wow, man.
It's the
You'll
way
be taken care of.
right.
He will take
I'm
care
like,
of
wait
you.
a minute. It's so simple, but it's like, you know.
That song actually was written for a lady a friend of mine in Jackson, Mississippi, Lisa Williams. Lisa Williams wanted a song like "I Want to Say Thank You," and I was in Jackson recording, and I told her to meet me at the studio, and then I kept putting her off because I didn't have the song. Like, because it's not that I want to say thank you. It's so phenomenal, but it just doesn't grow on trees. And I'm not that talented where I could just, you know. So when she came to the studio, finally went to the piano, and every step of the way I'm thinking like, okay, what am I about to show her? And I only play in 1.5 keys, you know. And that song came out, and the more I was showing her in real time, with real time revelation going on, it just happened, man.
So she is the lead singer on there?
Her church choir recorded it, in addition to Saints with a Vision.
Okay.
It's just that our version went further.
Okay.
But yes, she's the lead on that song, but it was written for her and her church choir.
Wow.
But I knew though, like, okay, we got to do this.
Man, thanks for sharing that. Sharing that information on that song. Another song that really means a lot to me is "Wondrous Love."
Wondrous Love.
I think it's the presentation that really gets me, the delivery. And if you really take your time and stick, you know how the preachers say, just stay with me, I'm going somewhere. If you stay with it.
That was my sentiment.
Oh, really?
I'm sorry to cut you off. I didn't write it. Raleigh Williams wrote it.
Okay.
And that was my sentiment with some of the musicians, singers, or just those who, because it was not like the common community choir song, but it had some sort of praise and worship. And my partner and I, you know, Raleigh did bring us a great blueprint, but Tuff and I, we God blessed us to make it be what it turned out to be.
Yeah. And I know we talked about, I want to say thank you, but I want to know, who's that second lead on? His
name is Claude Kelly III.
Okay.
Yes, he still is a music mentor of mine. He helped structure my musicality as it relates to me as a drummer, and in other fashions. So his name is Claude Kelly III, man.
Okay. Now I want to talk about James Greer. Now, I'm a James Greer and Company fanatic. And James Greer is a native of Gary, Indiana. And in his career with his group, he has used he's recorded a lot of his compositions. And I had talked to James about it. I'm like, wow. He said, yeah, man. He said, Pharis is a phenomenal writer. I love his stuff, and I feel like it's a perfect match for me. So I think that's a great way to just talk about, he's on the billboards right now with your song.
That's what I understand.
Get in there, come on. You gotta open it one more time. Yeah. He will take care of.
That's what it is.
You'll be taken care of. Recommend you, my God, man. Look up Saints with a Vision. God will take care of you. I'm telling you, that song will minister to you. Just listen to the lyrics, and they're true. Because it don't matter what it is that you're going through. God knows how to take care of his own. Any last words?
Just be encouraged. Be encouraged. Be encouraged. No matter what's happening in your life, be encouraged. And let me just speak right now transparently. Grief can bring on depression, but God will bring on grace and mercy, protection, favor, deliverance, and healing. So just be encouraged and trust God even when you can't trace Him.
On that note, love on someone and change a life. That's perfect. Hello, Gospel Diaries. If you would like to help and support to keep this content going, please follow the instructions on the screen and sow into Gospel Diaries so we can continue to bring you this great content. Because I love doing it, but I need your help.